To an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Let it! 258! Damn.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a second down and 12.
Check 99. Check safety.
Now a give, right side. Dobbins. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Rodgers going to throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. It's caught left side by Cooks. A big play there for the Bengals. 49 yards.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. John Ross, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
Let's go, at their own 25-yard line.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
80 weapons.
Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
You ain't going nowhere. Kill.
Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual-type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. Give them 32 on the play. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit them with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Here's Rodgers. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Check, check. Lucky.
To throw is Rodgers. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. Throwing is Rodgers. The quick slant caught, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. 2 touchdown passes now here in this first quarter for Aaron Rodgers. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. This time, the extra point up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, he certainly didn't waste any time throwing some deep passes here. But the defense, it wasn't unexpected. They told their secondary, be ready. You're going to be tested all night by this team.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Check 52.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
It's easy work. It's coming again.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively.
Here we go. 180. Watch the slant.
Now a play fake. Wentz going up top. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Shotgun now for Wentz. And that is incomplete.
So we have to remember this offensive unit, they've been off for the last 2 weeks. Had an open week, and so it might take them a little while to get back into rhythm. I know they worked hard to try and get past that in practice, but practice isn't game speed.
Returnable for Grant. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50, and he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Hatch it. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Got a man open, it's Ross. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports.
That's it, baby. We got work. 319. 56. Back north.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Here's Rodgers throwing again. And he whips that one incomplete there. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And that'll make it 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. 6. Mike, 56. Right there. 56.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. That's going to be caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the #3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Stand up there. Hey, 88.
Rodgers again now. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
26. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
This Eagle defense, they won't give in without a fight. This is 3rd and goal.
Mike 56.
And again, it's Rodgers. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open. Left him nowhere to go with the football. Had to absorb the sack.
And his kick here is good. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Bengals grab it. And he's in. Touchdown, Bengals. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and that pushes the lead up to 23. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but well, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've got nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, ball's out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by a half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Taken in at the 11. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense, they've got it set up on the silver platter. First and goal inside the 10. And what can they do here on second and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Here's Rodgers to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. Throwing now is Rodgers. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Aaron Rodgers, 3 first-half touchdown passes as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Now the extra point. And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his second extra point here in the first half. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old
blitz coming, and down he goes. Brian Burns gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Now Wentz. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And now nothing but green ahead of him. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. 81 yards as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. The pass to Brown as he holds it in. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
56, Mike, 56. It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Inside. 52. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some. Here we go. My 52.
Now Rodgers. And this one's incomplete.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. Got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Man open, that's Robert Foster complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
On first down, Rodgers. And he rifles one incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Rodgers to throw once more. Throw left side, complete to Moss. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to line up to go for this on 4th down. Rodgers stays on the field.
5-2's the Mike. Mike 5-2. Mike 5-2.
Hey, Delta.
You got it, son. 52's the Mike, boys. 52.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Eagles defense able to hold. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Wentz on the give to Sanders. And some room to maneuver. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. A 33-yarder from the left hash. The kick by Elliott is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30. Then under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Yeah, they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing is Wentz. Looking for Sanders, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
319. Check 56. Let's go deep, tighten up. Let's go deep, tighten up. Hey, flex. Say.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, Dobbins. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. From the 38, Rodgers steps away. Now he'll let it go deep down the left sideline. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down.
Let's put that team on a bus.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now Wentz on the bootleg. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
You must be dreaming.
They'll run. It's Sanders. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Hey, let's get this.
From the 35 on second down, Wentz. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
This has kind of been the story all night long, hasn't it? An inability to really get much done on third downs, and it's costing them.
Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this won't get there, won't be online either. It's no good, off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over this one a little bit inside of that, but not enough leg.
And the difference is what?
Well, your live conditions, right?
Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They'll try the left side. Dobbins. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now, Bengals on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is third down and 12.
He don't want it.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterback. Receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. He's going to air one out. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well-coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
From the gun on third down, Wentz. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit. That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Bengals on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Rodgers from the gun, he'll throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
The Eagles on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10.
46 down, man, 5-4. 55.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is caught by Jackson. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
It'll be a 41-yard punt, giving 5 on the return. The The Bengals drive about to get going, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll indeed take a knee. And they will take a knee here. The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Cincinnati, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1, and they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss, and they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.